to the topic of tonight. Okay, the topic of tonight is actually the true water. So as we all know just now, the promotion we know already, this month, a lot of promotion actually focus on the water treatment system. So you can see we have the trade-in. At the same time, we also have the 24 months easy payment, easy to own, and that is actually long-term. So it's very important for us to master the knowledge of when we share about drinking water with others. Okay, even if we don't master also, at least we have to know some foundation information and knowledge about this drinking water. Okay, and then as particularly on the unit itself also. Okay, later I'll close my virtual background. So later I'll also share some practical things about this unit. What are the things that we need to take note when we want to share with our friends about the specs and also the technical part. Okay, and then we also have the cartridge promotion, right? So the cartridge promotion comes with a 50% off with the bracket. So you might say, oh, I don't even have a eSpring customer yet, cartridge nothing to do with me. But can you imagine that in future, if let's say you have a whole network of people that actually using our water treatment system, and that really matters. So we have to have a long-term vision, because we are sharing the world #1 water treatment system with people around us. And of course, if it's the best in the market, then we can actually expect people to use it for very long term, right? So you can also see the efforts of Amway, like they don't like just sell you, then after that they don't care already. So you on and off, you can see Amway actually give a lot of promotion even for the maintenance part or that, and then for the promotion on the cartridge or that. Okay, so this is a very good point also when we want to share with others, not only when we install the new unit, but we can also give them a picture already in the future when you maintain, or you see you still got so many this kind of maintenance promotion, but we don't find this kind of thing in the other brand. Okay, most of the time other brand, they sell you, finish, job done. Okay, they might come and service and change for you, but I don't think there's any promotion after that are applicable for maintenance or anything like that. Okay, so let's us understand more about the importance of water before we go into the eSpring unit itself. Okay, so for the water filtration, this is actually the picture to show us the flow of the water from the treatment plant to every household, right? Before it reach every household, these are actually the process that you will actually remove and reduce the pollutants that we have in the natural water. So the natural water is a vicious cycle. So we know that it rains and then it goes into a soil, or it goes to a river, go back to the sea, and then it evaporates again, go back to the clouds, and it rains. Okay, so what happened in between is more important. I mean, what happened in between when it come back to the earth, and then before it reach every homes, right? Anything in between this process is very important to us. Okay, so in the water treatment plant, you can see they try their best, but it's not the 100% removal or reduction in the pollutants. You can see they can remove a lot of the big sediment. Okay, the rocks, sand, all that, it will actually remove all this sediment in this sedimentation tank, and then you will do the filtration. Okay, after the filtration, then that is the time inside the water still have some microorganism or chemical or things that they are unable to remove through this filtration process. Then they will use another different chemical to actually neutralize it, or to actually make it better. So you can see what they put in: chloride, fluoride, and also hydrated lime sometimes. Okay, so all this will actually help to remove some of the microorganisms that we concern of, but will it remove the heavy metal or other chemical things? Is a very big question mark. Okay, the answer I would say that you will not remove. Okay, so after that you will bring it to the reservoir, and then you will pump it to every household. Okay, so even from the reservoir to the every area, and be it industrial area, be it commercial area or residential area, okay, the process is very long. Okay, you will go through a lot of very, very long main pipe before it goes to your particular area. And then every particular area, you have your tangki, you have the tank to store the water again before it goes into your particular condominium or residential area. Okay, so this process, do you think is fully sealed? I mean, our piping, all that, the exposure, is it fully sealed? If let's say it's not fully sealed, right, it is also have the risk of exposed to all these things that I mentioned here, like medicine waste, pesticide, chemical residue, and also other pollutants. And this happened after the treatment plant. So a lot of time we thought, oh, the Shabas or the IS already done their part, but actually in between, after treated and they go to each household, we still have all this challenge. Okay, the pollutant is still going in. So they are doing I would say they remove all the easiest one first, okay, the rock, sand, all that. But for the toughest one, I think it's very much depend on ourselves. Okay, so just to understand more, when the water reach the main pipe outside our house, right, you go into the smaller pipe and then it goes to the landed house. For example, landed house is like this. Okay, you go to your normally downstairs, you'll get the direct. Okay, so upstairs one, normally you will store in the tank, and then whenever you want to use or you want to bath, okay, you will come out from the tank. Okay, sometimes the downstairs one also, they like the shower room, all that, they might also use the one from the tank. Okay, so but normally in your yard and also in your kitchen, they are using the direct input. Okay, so is it good or not? I think I throw back the question to ourselves. If we ask ourselves, direct use, is it good without any filtration? Do you dare to use after we know all the potential risks that I mentioned just now? So this is really depending on the user willingness to take the risk or not long term. Okay, so skyscraper, that is just now is landed, right? So skyscraper, definitely there's no direct. You will definitely go to the tank first, and then you will go to every unit. Okay, so there's no such thing as direct because they need to maintain and also control the water pressure. So if let's say every unit also got a direct pipe, right, the water pressure will be messed up for the entire condo. So it's definitely using a pump to pump everything, go to the main tank first before it goes to us. But how often we visit the main tank? Okay, no, I think none, right? Okay, so it's not it's not the question about how often. We totally will not visit. So it doesn't matter. So we totally don't care. I would say we want to care also cannot, because we cannot go up. Normally it's locked. The rooftop is locked. It's controlled by the management. So we don't have a view on it. So this is just some sample picture where if let's say today, if you try to open the upstairs one and so happen you see your condo one is like this, do you think you have the phobia or not? If let's say your house, you don't have a proper water treatment system, do you still dare to drink? Even if I ask you boil 100 times, 10 times, I don't think anyone dare to drink. If let's say they see the tank is look like this one, yellowish, some even have the don't know what, like a very dirty thing floating on top. Some is like the thing is like sediment at the accumulation of dirt and foreign items at the beneath also. This one is they snap from far. If you snap from near, probably you'll see a lot more things like insect or the dead animal could be possibly inside as well. So are we drinking the at home the water at peace of mind? Do we really trust the unit that we have currently that they can actually remove everything, or we just want to tell ourselves as long as we have a unit, that's it? Okay, so the that is we put it as a question first, and then water plants in Selangor also always have the not only Selangor, I think entire Malaysia, a lot of places always have the disruption. So why until now, so modern age already, we still have water disruption? Due to few reasons. One is because of the pollution is happening more and more. Okay, so whenever there's a very high risk pollution happening at the source of the water, the Shabas or the IS Selangor, those, they will actually announce the closure. So that is when you will have this water disruption. The other thing that will actually cause water disruption is the one that I will later share in the other news, which is when there's piping system issue. There's a leakage, there's a broken piping, that you will disrupt the entire piping system also. So all this news is actually showing the pollution causing the shutdown. Okay, and it's happening even until now. Okay, there's no way to actually solve it, because most of the time those irresponsible enterprise, they just throw all this toxic and also chemical at the very rural place. So it's very hard for the enforcement to control also, to be frank. So it's all about the corporate responsibility of all those companies, but we cannot control as well. So what if they didn't detect those pollution, it will still flow to every household, right? And then other than that, we also, just now I mentioned about water tank maintenance. If let's say certain management already long time, and then they also like short of budget to actually maintain the entire condo, then they will also have the water tank issue. Okay, not only contaminated, but the water tank might also degraded. Okay, the plastic might get hard and also like burst. This in this news actually it mentioned that the water tank burst. Okay, so we also have just now I mentioned, if let's say we zoom down to the underneath of the water tank, right, you might see some foreign item like the animal corpse, insect, all that. But sometimes there's also like human corpse. Okay, people suicide jumping into all this water tank. It happens in Malaysia, it happens in Singapore, so it's very common. So is it we want to wait until we find out this kind of news, and then only we worry, oh, I already drink for so many days? Okay, or we want to be the one that actually, even we found out this news, we very sure the water that we drink at home is safe one. Okay, and then these are the news that I mentioned just now. Whenever there's a piping in Malaysia, right, our piping is like more than 50 years old, one also have. Okay, so can you imagine pipe that is so aged? Do you think they'll keep changing it? Okay, even our mega project like MRT, all that also, they also cannot finish on time already. What to mention about all this old backlog? Okay, you ask yourself one question: do you ever see government proactively go and change the old pipe in certain area? Very rare, right? Most of the time we see them fixing, okay, the broken one, but there's no initiative that actually proactively go and change the entire stretch of road. We change to a new pipe. I would say maybe have lah, but very rare. Most of the time what we see is all this kind broken already or burst already, then only go and fix. Okay, so we are on the firefighting measure in Malaysia, I would say. So whenever we have this piping that actually bursts, and then it expose another risk for whatever things that is around. So can you imagine like this pipe burst already? Okay, they might not fix it in one day time. Okay, it takes few days to actually fix that thing. So whenever they rest or whenever it's rain, all these contaminant right beside all these repair or construction area, you flow back into the piping also, right? There's a potential that it flow back to the piping, and then it will goes to every household. Okay, so I think this non-revenue water is just to justify it's still happening quite prevalently for all the water piping bursts, all that, because only when it bursts, all this wasted water will not get into the every household. It will not be calculated through the water meter. Then that is why they will not be able to collect the revenue. So it's very high for every state. The percentage is very high. So that means our pipe is very old already. So even it didn't burst, right? Can you imagine the condition inside? The water you treat so nicely, so-called you treat nicely at the water treatment plant already. So it flows through all this old piping and come to you. Okay, so if you try to imagine you're like full of mold, or if accumulation of a lot of muds that actually stick to the wall of the pipe, that is what I can imagine of. Okay, so if let's say those things they still continue there, we are actually prone to exposure to a lot of pollutants inside our drinking water. So just now we mentioned about chemical, we mentioned about heavy metal, we mentioned also about like the medicine, pesticide, all that. But what if the living organism, is it good to us? Very hard to say, because inside water we have three main category of living things that actually will cause harm to our body as well. So that will include bacteria, virus, and also parasite. These are the three main category that we are very worried. I will not go into detail, but I will just mention it because you guys might have heard of this also. Okay, like this one itself, in short, is called E. coli. E. coli is a very famous that actually causes vomit, diarrhea issue. And in the long term, if let's say we continuously drink water source with the E. coli, it might also jeopardize our stomach health. Okay, so if I say stomach health is not good for the long term, it will affect everything, the whole system in our body. Okay, and then we also have a virus like hepatitis A and other hepatitis as well. We also have a Legionella, okay, that will actually cause same thing. They will cause fever, chill, cough, headache, all that. Okay, and example of parasite, this one I try to highlight that actually they have a very long life. Okay, so parasite normally they have a very long life. Have you ever see the news where people reported they take out parasite from their body and it's like so long already, they grow inside your body. So parasite is a very stubborn organism. As long as they find a host and they're able to live inside comfortably, it will grow very long. Okay, it will. I mean, their lifespan is very long. Okay, so it's very dangerous if let's say we take it for granted, we just drink water without treatment into our body. We never know. We might be the one who came up in the news and suddenly inside our body got a very huge parasite, all that. But most importantly is also the parasite will also cause health issue to our body. Okay, so this is another different type of parasite where actually they are actually resistant to chlorine. So if let's say the water treatment plant, they are using chlorine, they will not be able to get rid of this kind of parasite. And some parasite also very resistant to high temperature. So even if you boil your water, right, you will not be able to get rid certain types of parasite and even virus. Okay, so this is very dangerous if we just using the conventional way to treat our water, especially for the rural area, or if let's say we have family members who are still staying in the village or whatsoever, we can actually share with them this kind of awareness. And then in summary, right, because I cannot go through all the threats with you, but in summary, what kind of health effect that will actually affect our body? Okay, you can see from the top one, which is the more common one, like diarrhea for sure. But every time when we diarrhea or we vomit, right, we will blame our food. You will start to think, oh, afternoon I eat one, yesterday I eat one. Okay, you might find the culprit, but most of the time we are just guessing, right? We will not go to do a proper lab test and oh, definitely it's the Nasi Lemak. Okay, no. But have you ever think of it could be due to the water that we drank? Okay, so these are the things for us to ponder upon, because sometimes I do have past experience whereby I think of things that I eat. I don't find that there's any suspicious, but I do drink water in the outside restaurant, all that. So it could be due to that also. Okay, and then this is the typhoid and also the diphtheria is actually two types of bacteria that actually will in bacterial infection inside our body. One is causing a very high fever. Another one is actually will cause you to need to have the dripping. Okay, and then it also cause drowsiness and also nausea. And then for the hepatitis, just now we mentioned already, the hepatitis A are kind of bacteria that actually live in the feces. But how come feces will go into the very dirty thing can go into the water source? Is totally possible because we already explained just now, so many exposure of all these contaminant into our water, right? So these things that live in the feces, the hepatitis A virus, you can, if you drink in a long term, we can get this hepatitis. Okay, and how often we actually go and check our antibody on the hepatitis? We might get the vaccine already, but now I think a lot of us, we know the knowledge about vaccine. It's not like one time you get the shot, you get the antibody level forever. Okay, same goes to the previous viruses, same thing. Okay, the antibody, we don't actually keep and go and check the level is still there or not. So if let's say the level is no longer there and you drink the contaminated water, you will be getting the hepatitis. Okay, and then kidney damage. Okay, so kidney damage is the very, when it comes to very serious kidney damage and also cancer potential, because boiling and also treating the contaminated water, sometimes it become even worse, like you will create carcinogenic agent inside your water, and long-term drinking, it will cause cancer. And then for the other severe one is like kidney damage. Kidney damage is something that very hard to reverse and already. And most of the time you will have to continue do the dialysis and also the treatment. So why not take good care of the pair of kidney that we have before thing gets serious? And then nerve disorder, this is particularly important, especially if, let's say, a water source is full of heavy metal, if there's a lead or that, you will also cause a harm to our nervous system. Okay, it's very common, especially to younger age people, kids, all that, because their body is smaller. Okay, it's easier to penetrate into their immune system, it's easier to penetrate into their nervous system. Okay, so and kids, most of the time, they are taking more fluids compared to adults. I mean, by proportion, by comparison, in proportion. Okay, you can see that kids or babies that they haven't know how to eat solid food, most of the time they just eat porridge, they eat puree, all that. All those are also made from a lot of liquids, right? So what kind of water we put in? Okay, even if we make milk for them, what kind of water we are using? Okay, so skin lesion is the uneven skin growth on your skin. So sometimes it's not only due to the pollutants, or that it could be due to the things that you drink into your body that cause all these things that come out on your skin. Okay, so we also have our own experience whereby we have friend long-term drinking not contaminated water, but using wrong technology. Okay, the technology is later on in the later slide, I will also share alkaline water. So the alkaline water actually long term, you will also cause discomfort for people who is very sensitive in their stomach, or that. So we have friends previously that actually once they change to eSpring, every of the stomach issue has been recovered. Okay, so that is very important. Sometimes we don't realize that the things that we do it day to day is the most important that we have to take care of. So this is to further reiterate the importance of it. You can see from morning, you drink your healthy shake, or even if you are a coffee person, what kind of water that you put in. Just now I mentioned already, for baby, you take very premium milk powder, or even if you're breastfeeding. Okay, whenever you give water to your young one, are you giving the best also? And then people who like to do pastry, okay, you are also using water, right, to do the dough, all that. And then instant noodle, and then not only instant noodle lah, whatever things that you cook in a soup manner, okay, you're also using water. And then how you actually wash your cooking ingredient. So previously, before I get into the business and get to learn all these things about importance of water, right, I just use the open tap and wash the fruits and vegetable, which is not right, because now we know so many contaminants in the water, then you will not dare to wash your fresh food using the direct water already, even though it's just like flowing through. But you can imagine how much the thing can actually absorb inside your food, and then you cook it. Okay, I'm quite sure if let's say you use the direct one, there will be a lot of residue of chlorine. Chlorine is just one of it that most common that we know. Okay, what about other things that you cook together with your food? Okay, and then for tea lovers and so on. Okay, so these are the things that I mentioned. The potential pollutants inside our water is countless. Okay, you can mention everything that we see normally. Sometimes we see more advanced country like US, all that they reported. Then you might think, oh, it only happens there. It's just that Malaysia didn't report it, and we not really care about it. So we as a user ourselves, we have to be more careful. We have to be more cautious on all these potential risks to our health. Okay, so how to actually consider a good quality true water? So it's very simple. We just need to fulfill these 4 criteria. First, okay, your water treatment system or your water filter is retaining all the good mineral. If not, then it has failed the first criteria itself. Okay, I can tell you also, for RO water treatment system, normally it gets rid of everything. Okay, so it's not fulfilling the criteria of good water. Second, improve the purity, clarity, and also taste. Okay, not to say they add in flavoring or what, but as long as you retain and also make the water back to the most original form, you automatically become very pure, clarity, and also taste. Okay, and then number 3, are able to remove all the pollutants that we known inside the waterborne. Okay, if let's say yes, how many? Okay, do they list out for you? If let's say not, then how do you know they're able to perform or not, or it's just merely claimed by the company itself? So as I know, eSpring is the only one that clearly stated and listed out more than 140 pollutants able to remove. Okay, number 4, remove 99.99 waterborne bacteria and viruses. Okay, so this is the summary of all the good things about eSpring. So from the first one, more than 140 contaminant, 0.2 micron. 0.2 micron is our filtration effectiveness. It can filter up to 0.2 micron. And then also, this normally not disclosed by other brand also in the market. They don't disclose. I don't know whether they don't have the spec or they're not able to disclose. Okay, and then 5,000 liter effective clean water. So the unit has been tested in our HQ, Ada, Michigan, numerous times. And then they finally come up with the average, which is 5,000 is the most effective. Of course, sometimes if you over, okay, you are taking the risk on yourself lah. Okay, whether the unit is still performing or not, the cartridge is still performing or not is at risk. So that's why we have a monitoring system on top, which is intelligent, and it will tell us when to change the water based on the usage, and it's not based on schedule. Okay, so if let's say it's based on schedule, like most of the one that you have in the market, then for example, when it's pandemic, okay, no use of water, after 3 months they still come and change for you the filter. So to me it doesn't make sense at all, because like I mean my own office one is it happened like that. Okay, so can you imagine, like, use water also they change the filter for what? Okay, so to me it's a bit ridiculous the way they track it, and the logic behind it is like totally for commercial purpose. Okay, so number 2 is actually 2 years, but now we have this promotion whereby if you buy any of that one bundle, you get extra 2 years of warranty. So it's a total of 4 years. And then the cost per liter is very transparent and also very clear to us also. Second year onwards, every change of cartridge give you only 11 cents per liter of the water price. Okay, so you can estimate and you can budget. If you are a person who very savvy on budget, this is the best unit that you can go for. And then of course, not only for budget purpose, but for the health purpose, we can actually retain the good mineral, which is calcium, magnesium, fluoride, all that, which is important for our body. You might say, oh, it's okay, I drink RO, I can get mineral from my diet and all that. But can I ask you, how often we get seafood on a daily basis? If let's say, why I ask seafood is because majority of the mineral that we can get is from seafood, and also probably some is from nuts, all that. But if let's say you're just taking chicken, fruits and veggie, it's very, very low. So we have to very much depend on our drinking water as well to replenish all these good mineral. Okay, and then here is on the right hand side, we have a lot of the third-party certification and awards also. So this is not like we give ourselves and we claim ourselves we are the best. So we, in terms of manufacturing practice, we are 11 years consecutive. I think it's already 12 years because it's 2021 one also announced already. Just that I haven't updated my slide. So for the Reader Digest, it's also same thing. 2021, we are also the trusted brand awarded. So it's 17 years consecutively. So in the market, if let's say you want to look for something which is peace of mind, safe, okay, I think other than the specification itself, the third-party recognition has given us the biggest confidence ever. Okay, so you can see the water cartridge here. This is basically the technology that we use. The UV light technology, which is the patented technology that we have. It helps to destroy 99.99 of microorganisms. If you are wondering how it can be done in only one cartridge. So this is the breakdown and inside of it. Okay, so these are some of the important microorganisms that can be get rid of by our UV light, especially all these in the waterborne microorganism. And this is the more than 140. Here is 140. Why I say more than 140? One of the NSF standard that we get actually prove that the unit can also remove the new emerging pollutants up to 15 types of different pollutants. So adding up to this is definitely more than 140 types of pollutants. So do we get this kind of information or this kind of declaration from other brands also? If let's say not, are we using based on advertisement, or if we are doing our own due diligence very good already when we compare. Okay, so these are the NSF is a very prestigious standard that they actually give a certification to not only water treatment system but to all electronics in the household appliance, all that. Okay, so for the water treatment system for NSF is also getting the most standard in the market. So if you can find another unit that can get 6 NSF standard and protocol, do let me know. I might want to update my speech whenever I share. So if not, then so far in the market, we are the highest that getting being awarded with the most standard. First is the NSF 42, which is for taste and also aesthetic. Like I mentioned just now, if let's say they're able to retain the original form of the water, it already gives that aesthetic taste. Okay, and then 53 is actually for health purpose. So by able to remove more than 140 pollutants, we have been won with this award, this standard. And then number 3 is the NSF 55. This is mainly awarded to the water treatment system using the UV light to remove the microbes. And then NSF 401 is the one that I mentioned, up to 15 types of emerging compounds that we can actually remove effectively also. But do other brands keep pace with the new emerging compound or pollutants that found in the air, waterborne? We don't know. Okay, but if let's say they don't have this NSF 401, I'm quite sure they didn't do such tests, such lab tests. If you can do it, why not? Okay, so NSF protocol 4P477 is for the blue algae. So blue algae is also found in the water source in Malaysia, which it will actually emit the toxic. Okay, it's deadly toxic if in a high density. So it's very dangerous also. We also able to remove it. And then for the protocol P473, it is to remove the PFOA and also PFOS. This is since 2017, they found out that these two types of chemical is very, this is since 2017 we being awarded with this. But actually recently we find out in the water source, it's very common to have these two type of chemical because every industry use these two type of chemical. It's a chemical that is used to produce plastic, all that. So can you imagine like what kind of industry don't use plastic? Nowadays, like everything also got used plastic, right? So it's also unavoidable. We will also have irresponsible enterprise that actually put it into the water source. Okay. So in terms of Water Quality Association, we also get the gold seal. Okay, we are not just a member of WQA, but we are being awarded with a gold seal. So you will see a lot of other brands that tell you we also WQA, but if you check in the website, are they getting the gold seal also, or they are just associate member in the association, or they are also just getting the normal seal? Okay, is it a gold seal like us? So all these claims and things that I mentioned, you can definitely go to the third-party website itself. For example, NSF, you can go to search certified product. You'll see the whole list of our eSpring standard that I mentioned just now, still there. Okay, so you can also, in terms of application on a daily life, right? You can see this is when we have a very serious flood in Bangkok back then. Okay, the government actually sourced for eSpring to do the filtration, directly pump the water from the dirty water and then distribute it to the victims, all the people affected by the flood. Okay, so why they don't use other brand? I think it's because this is the safest, the one that get the most lab test report that prove it can done so, not advertisement report. Okay, so in terms of technology comparison, you can see there are the, okay, I will go to the, okay, I'll go through the technology. So the technology, most common one is if you ask our grandparents era, they'll tell you, boy, can already, everything settled. I mean, it's partially true because back then there's not much of pollution, chemical also not so serious. Okay, there's not so many PFOA, PFOS, that unknown thing that we don't know what's the name also inside the water source. Okay, so I say partially true is because there are still a lot of other threats even back then, okay, like microorganisms, just that they don't aware of it, and when they sick or they fall sick, they don't know what is the cause of it. And drinking water is definitely one of the contributing factor. Okay, so you can see boiling all cannot one. Okay, question mark is even sometimes when we say high heat, you can remove the bacteria and virus. Just now I mentioned already, parasite and certain types of viruses cannot be removed even with a high heat nowadays. Okay, so does it retain the mineral? At least it retains some mineral, and then wastage of electricity for sure, because boiling, heating, aircon, all this is very high consuming electricity appliance at home. Okay, so you want to, if we go to the other technology that we have in the market, RO, okay, you can see it can remove everything, but including the good mineral water. And at the same time, it's the one that actually wastes most resources. Okay, in order to filter, like it's a 1:4 ratio, you want to filter 1 liter of RO water, you have to sacrifice 4 liters of other water. Okay, it's a osmosis process. So it will actually waste other water. So like the unit that I have in my office, they are using eSpring, right? So from time to time, you will see the water being discharged to the sink one, okay? Even when you're not using, they are running inside, okay, the water will flow out just like that, okay? It's a wastage. Okay, so also easy for clogging, because the RO technology is using a very, very tiny filter. That's why it's very prone to clogging. And the water flow normally is slow as well. So normally for the RO technology, they are using the tank method, where you can still get water a lot when you need it, but it's actually stored readily inside the tank already. And whether the tank is clean periodically, what is inside, also same thing, we don't know. Okay, and alkaline. So this is actually the things that I mentioned just now is totally ridiculous. We don't need alkaline. It might also cause other health problem, like our friend just now, the stomach not always discomfort, always has a bloating, all that. Okay, but don't know what is causing it. Right after they change to eSpring, no more such issue. So you have to know whether our body need this kind of extra effort or not to change it to the alkaline. Can you imagine, like long time ago, people never drink alkaline water, right? We just drink original water. So why so pandai go and change to alkaline water? Because our body know how to regulate the pH itself. Okay, we don't have to like force alkaline into our body. And then in terms of other technology, like carbon is the most common one. Okay, also the one that you normally find in the Mr. DIY hardware, Ace hardware. You can get a very simple one, a few hundred ringgit. They are using carbon. But the problem is, if they are using a low-grade carbon, or it's not an activated carbon, like there are still a lot of question mark and things that they cannot remove. Okay, so how about UV? Okay, so far we don't see any technology out there just using UV, but I put here is just to let you see, when we combine activated carbon and UV, it seems like a perfect solution for water filtration. Okay, so this is exactly what we are doing for the by the eSpring. Okay, eSpring is using that technology. So it's not just a normal carbon, but the activated and our patented carbon together with the UV technology. So this is the alkaline water, or things that related to alkaline water, is the pH theory. It has been proven wrong, and the person who started the theory of this kind of alkaline diet, alkaline drinking water, okay, has also been charged by the court. Okay, so for other brand, this is not to tarnish their reputation or whatsoever. This is all fact. This has been happened in the history. Of course, they might have improvised it. They might have discontinued the model, all that. But why do we want to take the risk to actually go for the company that, like I mentioned just now, the maintenance itself, if you think about it, doesn't make sense. Okay, it's like totally for commercial purpose. Even if you don't use, you still need to change, because they tell you already 3 months, already 2 months. Okay, you have to change. Okay, so this kind of profit-centered company, right? A lot of time they want to cut the cost. They want to use a cheaper material. That is the reason why all the previous scandal and also the safety issue they have is the material that they use, the mechanism that they have inside, that actually eventually cause the harm not only to the image of the company, but most importantly is you take the risk to cause that harm to our health. So we want to take this kind of thing. But so far I can tell you, eSpring or even the WTS from the previous, so far you cannot find any newspaper cutting or any news inside the official one. Don't go and find people blog and they want to attack Amway one. Okay, they simply write their blog or that official news like this. We don't have any history of this kind of claims. Okay, so this is a question that we want to ask back ourselves. We want to choose a company that, of course, Amway is making profit also, but we are also a company that very emphasized in terms of safety of the user, or that. Okay, this is the value that we see in Amway company. Okay, so this is another practical example that I do the market survey few years back. Okay, even now, same thing. If you want to try, you feel free to try. I'm quite sure they will respond you exactly the same thing. So this one, I just pretending to be the customer for a certain X brand. I asked about it. You will realize that most commonly, they will just revert you how many people inside your house. They ask you how many people are using the unit, what is your budget, then they recommend something to you. Do you find this is funny or weird? Probably we as a consumer, we might not feel anything weird, okay? But if we think carefully, today we look for a water filter is based on budget and number of people at our home, or you want to base on the performance of the unit first. Then only, of course, the two factors that I mentioned just now is important also, but that is after make sure the unit is really performing effectively. Then only we talk about the money and also the how many people is using. But no, in the market, the practice is like this. They ask your budget, okay, or you only have this budget. Never mind, we have 10 different model of water treatment. You go for the cheapest one. Okay, is that what we want? Okay, is that but do we ask ourselves, if I go for the cheapest one, what is this unit different with the other 9 model that you have? They will tell you, oh, this one got extra function, this one is better, that better. But is it the water same also clean, or this one not so clean? That one is the most expensive one is the most cleanest. Okay, to me, is a marketing gimmick. Okay, if let's say we really think about it, I really don't know how to explain it. Even when I throw this same question to them, they'll just tell, oh, that is like with the extra feature for the higher capacity. But is it necessary for us to pay extra few thousand ringgit just for the extra feature? We just need drinking water, right? We don't need the water filter can play MP3 or can do lighting or very nice music or what, right? No, all those are extra and unnecessary. Okay, so this is another different one. Same thing. They also ask you, okay, how many family members stay together? Okay, why? Because any of the X brand, you go to their website, they got at least more than 5 different types of water treatment. Okay, but so which one to go for? You'll notice that each is different price. So that is the technique that they use to target. They want to make sure everyone that walk into their shop will be able to look for something that match their budget. But that is such a irresponsible diversion, because to me, it has diverted us from making the right decision based on the effectiveness and also the performance of the unit. Okay, they might give you a decent one, but that is definitely not the most effective unit. All right. So this is just taking some of the example of the unit that they have in the market. Okay, you can compare. Okay, this is why when I said when we just compare price, right, you have missed out so many things that you're supposed to compare before price. Okay, whether they have the recognition standard, they have the standard certification that I mentioned just now. No. Okay, whether they are the member of the WQA, yes, they just certify on it, not Gold Seal. Okay, technology that they use, of course, they have their own name. I don't know what is the actual mechanism and also technology inside. They also didn't tell you how many micron or that. Okay, and then in terms of maintenance, they will just blindfold you. Okay, because for the maintenance, they normally sell you a 3 years or 5-year contract where they already collected upfront, but you feel that it's cheap because you are paying it only monthly, few hundred or some even less than 100 you can get. But actually, don't forget you have signed up it for 3 to 5 years. But for the eSpring, right, it's very clear. I already tell you, the first year itself, even with this current 24 months, right, the 170 something. but a year after, every year, 1 liter is 11 cents on it. Can you get that from other eSpring? Definitely no, because here also I have done the cost analysis. If you use it for 5 years, you use it for 10 years, how much you can get. That is when the price will skyrocket for the other brand. You might even being forced to change your model because their technique, another technique of the eSpring is actually they will discontinue that model and then they change another new one. And then when you want to change the filter after 5 years, they tell you no more. This model discontinued already. But don't worry, we can help you to change to the new one. But do you want to like every 5-year change, or you want to find a brand whereby you can use sustainably for 10 years without worry about the part discontinuation? Because like even eSpring discontinue, and we have promised that they will continue to supply the parts. This is why, because we can do it because we only have one best unit. It's not like them, they discontinue already, they still need to jaga the other 9 model that they have. It's not like they can focus on only one product. Can you imagine like you putting yourself in their shoes? It's also not logic, not reasonable for them to spare the inventory of the spare parts for the discontinued unit for 10 years or 5 years. It will be a big loss to them. Why not they just push the new model and then make more new profit? Okay, so we really need to be a wise and also a clear mindset consumer to really understand all these things. Not only I'm the distributor and then I tell you I'm the APO, I tell you the good thing about using, but be a person who know how to do analysis yourself also. Okay, I'm just giving you some suggestion and also my point of view as a person who also doing financial analysis. Okay, so this again, I just want to reiterate before I end my sharing of tonight. The trade-in program, don't miss out. Okay, we will not know who needs this until we share it. Okay, so I highly encourage every one of us, we can actually share social media, share day to day whenever we know anything. Just like today also itself, in my social media, I have asked 2 people, because one is putting the Insta story that they move new house. Also, I immediately share. I say, hey, congratulations. Then she told me not her house, it's her brother's house. Then I say, oh, no worry, let your brother know. Where if let's say you want to look for a comparison on the water filter or air filter, okay, let me know. Because this month we have a special promotion, just like that. But if let's say you don't share anything, right, do you think they will automatically think of you? Oh, I think of Lance, he is doing Amway, or Amway about very good water treatment. Let me try to ask him. Okay, I would say very rare. Okay, unless you are a very high profile person, but it will be very rare. So for us as a person who running the business, we have to proactively share. If you don't share, nobody will know about this trade-in program. Even if you share once, people who miss the posting, they will not know also. Okay, so don't expect one post itself will actually reach all your social community already know. Okay, you can actually post few times in the different manner or different way to convey the program that we have or the promotion that we have. And also we have to be familiar with the trade-in values. Okay, so we also need to know the procedures. If let's say they want to trade in, what is the step that actually they will have to go through? Okay, so can take a picture of the unit. Okay, send it to Amway, ask for the quote. You can also go to the shop. Now it's open back already. It's no longer locked down. So at the same time, you can also share and promote this 24 months, because it will be a great deal to a lot of people, because without interest, that means even you have this 3,000 or 4,000 on hand, right? You can actually make a better cash flow planning, right? So for people who is financial literate, doesn't matter whether you can afford it or not, I will advise go for the zero interest payment. Okay, even you can afford it. So this is not like credit card, you own the bank, you have to pay interest. No, this is zero interest. So why not? So it will, for people who is very care about their cash flow, this is a very good promotion and can actually promote also. Okay, and this is not like force you to buy something that you don't need, because this bundle itself can already help you to secure 2 years. You don't have to change the cartridge 1 year you finish already, and then another 5,000 liter, you can change a new one already. Okay, it's already in at your home. Okay, and then you get the extra benefit 4 years. This is very good. I mean, out there normally it's only 2 years, some even only 1 year's warranty. Okay, they only will extend your warranty if let's say you sign more than 5 years and so on. But Amway very good. You buy a two years bundle, you already get 4 years warranty. Okay. So just now I mentioned already the bank one. Okay, so this is actually why eSpring in 3 short points. One, like I said, in this sequence, one, performance first, whether the unit can perform the performance that you want. Okay, and does it really retain all the good mineral? Okay, because that is for your family, for your young kids in the future, for your aged parents, all that. It's very important for them, mineral. Then whether it gets the accreditation, things that they put inside their brochure, things that they claim inside their advertisement, ask, okay, how do I know this is true? Do you have credibilities from the third party? If no, they tell you no, we have our in-house lab, we already perform, sure can do it one. Okay, so now ask back yourself how convincing is that? Because if let's say today I start up a company, I can also say I have an in-house things, I just simply claim. Okay, and then sustainability is, I mentioned already, if you are a person who want to plan long term, you buy a unit, you don't plan to every 3 years or 5 years you change another one. Okay, go for the brand that actually give you that peace of mind. Okay, and then the cost is also sustainable for that 10 years. They will not tell you, after finish contract, the price to change is suddenly increase one. No. Okay, this one, every year, same cartridge, same price. Okay, so you can lock down and you can do your financial planning better. Okay, so this is actually some of the example that we previously share with people around us. Okay, so like I just want to keep saying that only through sharing you can reach out to people who are potential, be it stranger, friends, all that. Like just now the picture just now, there's also so many is actually stranger also. Okay, stranger, go and ask, they are moving in. Okay, you see they are friendly, you can ask also your neighbor, people around you. Okay, just ask. Okay, no ask, then nothing will happen. Okay, so your true water solution, right? Okay, so now I just want to show you before I end. Okay. Okay, let me just quickly check the chat box if there's any question from you guys before I continue. Okay, so I don't see any particular question. So if I say you guys have any question about the water treatment system, feel free to also check with us. You can also leave it in the chat now. You can also unmute yourself to talk directly or ask directly also. So now I just want to end tonight's sharing by sharing the some of the more practical and also technical about the eSpring unit. So when we want to sell, of course, the information that is, when we want to sell and also share, right? The information that I shared just now is, I believe should be more than enough as a foundation information and knowledge. Okay, but if let's say when it comes to after closure or even sometime before closure, for people who is more particular, they might ask you certain question, okay, about our eSpring. So these are the things that maybe not in the notes that you would want to know. So for example, you will first need to understand the structure of our unit. Of course, just now show in the picture, but do you really know how to dismantle this thing? And then what is how it looks like inside? So now I'll show you. This is the miniature so that I can show you easily. Okay, let me spotlight myself. Okay, so you can see, right? So this is basically exactly how our eSpring look like. Behind is also like this. Okay, got a bigger tube and also a smaller tube for you to put in the tubing. So that's it. A very simple design, just like a Lego. So don't worry to share water treatment with your friend, because myself, last time I feel worried when I want to share water treatment, because I say, wow, this kind of thing I want to go and install. I also don't know, I no experience. Can I do it or not? So better don't share. Okay, there's one time that I will have this kind of worry. So to me, I think for any one of us now, we need to be confident. So to be confident, you have to know the product well. Okay, so don't worry, this is very easy to handle by anyone. So you can actually take out. Now you see this like a toy, right? Take out very easy, right? But the real unit is also like this. Okay, just take out like this only. Okay, just use a little bit of force, you can take out already. No need to unlock anything or unscrew anything. No. Okay, it's designed to be simple. Any ABO can handle it. Doesn't matter what is your age. Okay, so once you open up, you'll see the top is like this. Okay, so this is the intelligent coupling system that will actually tell when you install the cap like this, right? Here will actually tell you the lifespan of our cartridge through the lighting of this smart chip. Okay, so this smart chip is the one that actually connected to the cartridge without any wire. So same thing, this can be also take out like this only. Okay, the real unit also same thing, just take out like this. But of course, the real unit, you'll notice that the behind there's a wire, there's a cable, actually the power supply into this brain. Okay, so you have to take out the water supply only, just like how you take out the cable from your laptop. Okay, then you can take out this thing already, just like that. Okay, so once you take out, you'll notice the cartridge will not fall out. Okay, so what is the thing that actually hold the cartridge inside our unit is, just now I want to mention, how come no connector, no wire, anything? Well, our brain can read the usage of the cartridge inside. So this is the patented technology that we have for our eSpring unit. Okay, is actually this thing can actually power up our cartridge inside, because inside our cartridge got UV light, but there's no wiring. Okay, the only thing that connecting to our cartridge is this one, and it can actually power out our cartridge inside without any connector. It's a wireless power. All right, so the things that hold up our cartridge is this ring. This ring also very simple. Okay, any ladies can do it also. You can just turn and open up. Real unit, same thing. Okay, then you take out already. So once you take out, you just need to unleash this thing. Okay, there's a holder like this. Okay, same goes to the real one. So you just need to unlock the pressure, then you pull out, you get the whole cartridge out already. Okay, so once the whole cartridge is out, you can actually change. I mean, in future, if I say when you want to service your customer or you want to teach them or guide them how to do it, this is how they do it. Okay, just unlock also, pull out. Okay, pull out, and then this is the whole thing that you will throw, and then get a new cartridge, and then put inside, lock back. Okay, so it's as simple as that. And then of course, the real one is all with the pre-filter covered lah. But this miniature actually want to show us inside there's a pre-filter, the white color one, which actually filter all the bigger contaminant. And then go into here is the activated carbon, the black color one. So that is the activated carbon where it will filters the more than 140 types of pollutants. And at the same time, when it pass through this UV light, you will also remove all the danger microorganisms like viruses, bacteria, all is handled by here. Then the clean water will come out from the piping here. Okay, so this is the piping. If you remember just now, behind we got 2 holes, so it will come back out from there. Okay, so but if they are getting a new unit, you don't have to dismantle this thing. For new unit is even easier. New unit, you just need to install this. When you take out this whole thing from a box, install it on the tabletop, or you can, this is the other knowledge that we need to know also out of the notes, where you can actually install it on the tabletop. You can install it on the kitchen, beneath the kitchen top. Okay, you can also install it on the wall mount. Okay, we have a wall mount, they can actually save the space. Okay, and then after that, you just connect the tubing to the point of use. Okay, point of use, that means every kitchen definitely will have a water tap. So that is where we actually mount our tubing to the outlet. Okay, so this is actually what we call as point of use water treatment, because a lot of the other water treatment, they after they treat, they still flow to the normal piping and all that, which also exposed to another contaminant. So point of use is very important, whereby at the point of use is still a filtered and treated water. Okay, so just now I mentioned already, people who might concern about the space, right? They will opt for install beneath the kitchen top. They might also opt for mounted on the wall. But actually, we can assure them, because they might have the wrong perception that water treatment system is a very big thing. Okay, but for eSpring, do you know how big the space that you occupy? I mean, at least you should know when you put on the table, what is this size. Okay, so now this is also something off the notes. You can also, now you get this knowledge, you will be able to share more confidently also. So it's actually, if you have a A4 paper, okay, you fold it into half. This is the space that they need to sit. Okay, it's very small, right? Your kitchen definitely have this space. Okay, it will not be those bulky that you see in the hypermarket, in the other X brand, that you occupy like at least the space that they occupy, maybe you can put 2 appliances already. But for eSpring, only half size of this A4 paper. You have this space in your kitchen, you can fit in the eSpring already. So to install it beneath and also on the wall mount is really for those who have a very restricted space. Otherwise, eSpring itself is already a very space-saving water treatment unit for people who is very concerned on their kitchen. Okay, so other than this, I think these are some of the additional things that I would like to share with you guys, so that you can have this extra information when you share with people around you. You can be more ready on how to answer this kind of thing, because some of the people, they will actually ask this kind of technical thing. Hey, if I install this, how do I need to take note on the type? Who will install for me? So now you know all the answer already. Okay, so plus the slide that I shared just now should be more than enough for us to share actively with people who actually look for the good water treatment system. Who need it, we don't know until we share. Okay, so I hope my sharing will be benefit to you tonight.